Imagine walking through a museum in 2050. You stop at a display case. Inside, a password notebook, a plastic driver's license, a metal key, a hospital waiting ticket, and a sign that says, "People use these every day." You laugh, because by then, they won't just be outdated. They'll be unthinkable. Every era believes it lives at the peak of civilization. But history says something else. In 1900, horses dominated transportation. By 1925, cities were drowning in cars. In 2005, people feared online banking. By 2025, cash feels inconvenient. The pattern is clear. The future doesn't evolve gently. It replaces. And by 2050, these 10 things won't slowly fade. They will become socially, economically, and technologically impossible. 1. Passwords. The death of secret codes. Passwords are a 20th century solution to a 21st century problem. They were never meant to survive this long. We built digital castles and protected them with sticky notes. Right now, billions of people rely on memory as security. But memory is weak. By 2050, the idea of proving you are you with a secret phrase will feel absurd. Because identity won't be something you type. It will be something you are. The shift has already begun. Facial authentication systems, pioneered by companies like Apple, are already replacing passwords. Biometric login systems are expanding across financial institutions. Meanwhile, behavioral biometrics track how you walk, how you type, how you move your phone. Your rhythm becomes your password. Your heartbeat becomes your signature. Your nervous system becomes your key. Why passwords become impossible? By 2050, AI will crack weak passwords instantly. Quantum computing could break traditional encryption methods. Data breaches will make static credentials obsolete. When security threats evolve exponentially, human memory cannot compete. Governments and corporations will not allow fragile authentication systems to guard trillion-dollar infrastructures. It won't be optional. Passwords won't just disappear. They will be banned. 2. Human-driven car accidents. The end of steering wheels. Over 1 million people die globally every year in car accidents. Most caused by one factor: human error, distraction, fatigue, ego. We trust ourselves behind 2 tons of moving metal. But statistics don't care about pride. The automation acceleration. Autonomous systems are already being developed by companies like Tesla. Cities like San Francisco are testing fully driverless fleets. And each year, the AI gets better. Not emotionally better, mathematically better. It does not text and drive. It does not fall asleep. It does not get angry. It does not race. The ethical shift. At some point before 2050, we will cross a statistical line. AI drivers will be dramatically safer than humans. When that happens, allowing manual driving in dense urban zones may be considered reckless. Just like smoking in hospitals became unacceptable, human driving in cities may become illegal. Not because you can't drive, but because you're worse at it. The cultural shock. Driving today equals freedom. In 2050, it may equal liability. Children might ask, "You controlled the car yourself?" And we will say yes. And they will look at us the way we look at people who used to ride horses on highways. 3. Waiting weeks to see a doctor. The end of reactive healthcare. Right now, healthcare is reactive. You feel pain. You book an appointment. You wait. You test. You worry. You treat. But by 2050, you may never feel sick before being notified. AI diagnostics will be continuous. Already, AI systems can detect certain diseases from imaging scans with extreme accuracy. Wearables track heart rate, oxygen levels, sleep cycles. Imagine this scaled 100 times. Nanotech sensors in bloodstream. Smart fabrics measuring inflammation. Voice tone analysis detecting neurological decline. Your body will stream data constantly, and AI will watch it quietly. Hospitals will transform. Hospitals won't disappear, but waiting rooms might. Routine diagnostics could be handled instantly by AI systems connected directly to pharmaceutical manufacturing units that personalize medication. The future doctor? Part human, part algorithm, part predictive engine. Why waiting becomes impossible. When early detection prevents 80% of major illnesses, delaying diagnosis becomes irresponsible. Insurance systems will prefer proactive monitoring. Governments will push preventative care models. And culturally, waiting until symptoms explode will feel medieval. This isn't science fiction. It's trajectory. The world doesn't change slowly. It compounds. By 2050, wallets, keys, language barriers, traditional jobs, energy bills, anonymity, all may join the museum of normal. For physical wallets, money without matter. For thousands of years, money had weight. Gold, silver, paper, plastic. You could hold wealth. You could lose it. You could hide it. But by 2050, money may have no physical form at all. The shift is already underway. Mobile payments dominate major cities. Tap, scan, done. Digital currencies are expanding globally. Central banks are exploring digital sovereign money. The wallet is shrinking, not because it's outdated, but because identity is replacing it. Identity becomes currency. Imagine this. You walk into a store. No checkout. No scanning. No phone. Cameras identify you. Sensors track what you take. Your verified biometric identity authorizes payment automatically. This model is already being tested by companies like Amazon through cashierless store concepts. By 2050, payment may not be an action. It may be an ambient event. You won't pay. You'll exist, and transactions will occur around you. Why wallets become impossible. Cash enables anonymity. Physical cards can be stolen. Fraud costs trillions globally. When biometric identity is safer and more efficient, carrying paper will feel primitive. Children may ask, "You carried rectangles to buy things?" And we will nod. 5. Language barriers. The end of misunderstanding. Language once separated tribes, then nations, then markets. It created culture, but it also created division. By 2050, language may stop being a barrier. Real-time translation becomes invisible. AI translation systems are accelerating rapidly. Companies like Google already provide real-time translation tools. But that's the primitive stage. In the future, smart earbuds translate instantly. Contact lenses overlay subtitles. AI reconstructs tone and emotion, not just words. You won't translate. You'll understand. Cultural impact. Global collaboration will accelerate. A Nigerian entrepreneur can negotiate seamlessly with a Japanese investor. A rural student can attend lectures in any language. The global talent pool explodes. Language becomes flavor, not limitation. The paradox. When communication becomes universal, misinformation can scale universally too. Persuasion becomes borderless. Propaganda becomes multilingual. The barrier falls. Responsibility rises. 6. The traditional 9 to 5 work redefined. The 40-hour workweek was designed for factories. Punch in, punch out, trade time for survival. But by 2050, that structure may collapse. Automation is compounding. AI already writes articles, designs logos, codes applications, analyzes contracts. The pace is exponential. Every year, systems become faster, cheaper, more accurate. Human labor will not disappear, but repetitive labor might. The new economy. Instead of fixed employment, work may shift toward project-based contribution, creative collaboration, AI supervision roles, human-centered services. The value won't be in repetition. It will be in originality, empathy, judgment. Why 9 to 5 becomes impossible? When productivity no longer depends on human hours, paying for time becomes inefficient. Companies will optimize for output. Governments may experiment with universal income models. The question won't be, where do you work? It will be, what do you create? 7. Power bills. Energy as infrastructure. For over a century, energy has been centralized. You consume, you pay, repeat. But storage technology is improving. Renewables are scaling. Microgrids are expanding. The battery revolution. If battery density continues improving, homes could generate solar power, store weeks of energy, share excess power peer-to-peer. Utility companies wouldn't disappear, but the model would shift from billing to infrastructure management. Why monthly bills may feel obsolete. Imagine explaining this in 2050. You paid every month just to keep your lights on. When energy becomes abundant and locally stored, recurring dependence may seem outdated, like paying for air. 8. Keys, the end of physical access. Keys are symbols of access, control, ownership, but they are fragile, lost, copied, stolen. By 2050, access will be biometric, or proximity-based, or neural. The access evolution. Smart locks already use fingerprints and facial recognition. Cars unlock via phones. Offices scan irises. Soon, doors may recognize your gait, your heartbeat pattern, your presence. You won't unlock things. They will recognize you. Why keys become impossible. Physical access systems cannot compete with intelligent security. When breaches drop dramatically through biometric systems, metal keys become liability, and liability becomes illegal. Building toward the final arc. We have removed passwords, steering wheels, waiting rooms, wallets, language barriers, office routines, power bills, keys, and we are not finished. Because the most controversial shifts are still ahead. Mental health surveillance and the end of true anonymity. These won't just change convenience. They will change freedom. 9. Undetected mental health decline. The end of silent struggle. For most of human history, mental suffering was invisible. You could smile in public and collapse in private. You could function and still be falling apart. But by 2050, your silence may no longer be silent. The rise of emotional analytics. Today, AI can already detect patterns in voice tone shifts, typing speed, word choice, sleep irregularities, heart rate variability. Now imagine that scaled across smart homes, wearable devices, neural interfaces, social interaction data. Your emotional state becomes measurable, not guessed, measured. Predictive mental health systems. By 2050, AI systems may identify early indicators of burnout, severe anxiety patterns, major depressive shifts, cognitive decline. Before you recognize them yourself, you won't say, "I think something's wrong." The system will say, "We've detected a deviation," and recommend intervention. The ethical dilemma. This is where convenience becomes controversial. Because if your emotional state is measurable, who has access? Governments? Insurance companies? Employers? Mental health may become proactive, but privacy may shrink. The world will debate. Is safety worth surveillance? Is prevention worth exposure? Why silent struggle becomes impossible. When early detection reduces suicide rates, burnout crises, and severe breakdowns, society will consider non-monitoring irresponsible. Parents will enable it for children. Corporations will justify it for productivity. Nations will mandate it for healthcare savings. The invisible will become visible, and loneliness may have nowhere to hide. 10. True online anonymity. The end of being unknown. The internet began as a frontier. Anonymous, wild, chaotic. You could become anyone. You could disappear. But by 2050, true anonymity may be extinct. The infrastructure shift. As biometric identity replaces passwords. As digital wallets replace cash. As governments build national digital ID systems. The internet will link to verified humans, not usernames. Humans. You won't log into platforms. You will enter digital space as a registered identity. Why anonymity becomes impossible. Cybercrime costs trillions globally. Misinformation destabilizes elections. Fraud scales instantly. The pressure to attach identity to digital behavior will intensify. Security will demand traceability, and traceability will reduce invisibility. The cultural shift. In 2050, children may find it strange that you could say anything online and no one knew who you were. We may look back at anonymous forums the way we look at unregulated financial markets. Chaotic, dangerous, unstable. The trade-off. Anonymity protects whistleblowers. It protects activists. It protects dissent. When identity becomes default, courage may require greater risk. Freedom may require new definitions. By 2050, passwords are museum pieces. Steering wheels are relics. Waiting rooms are archaic. Wallets are decorative. Language barriers dissolve. The 9 to 5 fades. Power bills shrink. Keys rust. Silent mental suffering becomes detectable. Anonymity evaporates. But here's the deeper truth. None of these changes are about technology. They are about power. Who holds it? Who adapts? Who resists? The pattern of history. Every technological leap does three things. It increases convenience. It increases efficiency. It redistributes control. The printing press disrupted kings. Electricity disrupted knights. The internet disrupted geography. AI will disrupt identity. The real question. The question isn't, will this happen? The trajectory suggests it will. The real question is, will we guide it or will we react to it? The acceleration curve. We think 2050 is distant. It isn't. 25 years ago, there was no smartphone culture, no social media dominance, no AI assistants in pockets. The next 25 years will not move slower. They will move faster, compounding, exponentially. The closing monologue. The future doesn't destroy the past. It archives it. And one day, our normal will sit behind glass. The things we defend, the systems we depend on, the routines we trust, will become stories. So prepare, not with fear, but with awareness. Because by 2050, some things won't fade. They will become impossible. And the people who thrive won't be the strongest or the smartest, but the most adaptable. The future does not ask permission. It replaces what resists it. And 2050 is closer